What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up to all of my friends and family inside of the chat. I appreciate y'all for tuning in for another edition. It is Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025, year of our Lord. Lots of commotion happening in the background. As you can see, I am live streaming straight from the crib today. And the reason that is because I got to take a flight really quickly. Don't worry, I'll be back in Detroit tomorrow, right around, just a quick turnaround. Just got to go take care of some business. But yeah, man, we out in these streets and we got to take care of business. But the show doesn't stop. We don't miss. Doesn't really matter what I got to take care of. A lot of y'all really don't have a calendar. That is one of the reasons why y'all can hear all of the commotion and the construction and the ambulance or fire truck or whatever like that. Y'all hear all of that? You can hear that, K. Cooper? A lot of y'all don't have calendars, and that's problematic. And so if you are not living and dying by a calendar, if your calendar is not your makeshift go-to Bible, then I already know that you as a business person, you are not taking care of business. You are not on top of things, and you are slacking. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Practical information, practical advice. If you guys are not living and dying by your calendar, you are probably losing. There's no way that you can tell me that you can control and you can account for how you're spending your time. A lot of people are always asking me, how am I able to get so much done? How am I able to never miss? Is it that I don't sleep? No, I make sure that I get sleep. Sometimes a little bit less than I'm supposed to, but for the most part, I get sleep. But it's because I can actually account for my time. If you do not use a calendar, we got these powerful tools. Some of your phones is more powerful than your mobile than your computers that you actually watching this on. It's more powerful than your TV. It's more powerful than the chips that you got in your cars. We got these powerful phones. We spend all of this money for them. Well, mine is a write-off because it is a business phone. But we spend all of this money for these phones, the pros and all of that, and the only thing you use it for is a camera, TikTok, and YouTube, and iMessage. If you are not leveraging AI, if you're not leveraging the tools, if you're not making sure that every single thing that you do, that's the only thing I see when I do coaching calls. If it's not on my calendar, you don't exist. My calendar is managed by other people, and so they look for the gaps. That's when they book my flights. That's how they know what time I'm supposed to fly out. It's based off of my calendar. My calendar being shared with family and being shared with my daughter. She knows what my capacity is. My calendar is communicating with people that are around me, whether you're a business person, whether you work for me or whether you're a family member, it communicates to them because it gives them visibility into what my life is like. So now you don't have to come to me and say, hey, are you going to be able to make this? My daughter already knows when she got a taekwondo competition coming up, she already knows okay, let me check dad's calendar and or I'm going to let him know ahead of time, so he can plan for this and he can move some things around. And then she has to, and I subconsciously programmed her to be more responsible when it comes to her calendar, making sure that you put the reoccurring things like you going to school every day. And then you got to go to taekwondo and then you do this and you do that. And so now she's more business minded. She's more structured. She has more orientation. I don't have to tell her, hey, make sure you in bed by this time. Make sure you do this. We have to teach our children how to think by showing them the different ways that they can be successful. And it don't even have to already be overly explained. All you got to do is set the precedent by being the example and then forcing them to interact with you based off of those same tools. They will then adopt it themselves because they have to get that structure. So the way that we raise our children is not necessarily what we say. What we say is just 10% of the conversation. The way that we communicate with people don't have to be any of that, right? There's people that surround you. If they think that you ain't doing nothing, I seen a guy today, a young guy, really, really young guy, couldn't even communicate that well, was talking about construction. And I started to do a review video of it, but I decided not to. But he was talking about how you ain't got once, if you work in a regular 9 to 5, and he was talking about being in the streets, right? If you work in a regular 9 to 5, you doing construction, you do something like that, yo, gang, you ain't got no time to do nothing else. You gonna be, everything is gonna be messed up. Your life is gonna be too busy. You ain't got no time. No, that's not true. We have 24 hours. Think about this. If you really go back and you look at what your life circumstances are and what you accomplish on a daily basis, and some of us just may need to multitask. Let's say you sleep for 8. Let's say you get ready, you in the bathroom, you put on your makeup, ladies, fellas, you make sure that you brush your teeth, take care of business. Let's say the total amount of time that you spend in the bathroom in a day is a little more than an hour, give or take. So let's say 9 hours between prep, restroom, sleep. For 15 hours of being awake, 15 hours of being awake, you're telling me you can't account for 15 hours of productivity? Because even when y'all go on y'all jobs, y'all not really doing the thing that y'all saying that y'all doing. You're not really that busy. You're not that busy. You will, a lot of times we'll say, well, we had to go to work for 8 hours, but you didn't work for 8 hours. You see what I'm saying? You was at work, but you weren't 8 hours worth of productivity. Anton, what are you saying? That we lazy on our job? No, I'm saying that you're not taking advantage of the amount of time that you have. Every single job that I've ever went to, which is one of the reasons why I knew I would be able to have a full-time job and be able to run my businesses and be able to do content creating. Every single job that I've done, every job, not one job that I've ever done did I not bring my homework in with me, make sure that I was building my businesses. I brought a separate computer so I wouldn't be working on my work computer. I didn't take lunches with everybody else unless it was something that I knew would be productive as far as me, building a rapport with a higher up or something like that. I was in there working. If you're going to pay me to be here, I am not just going to be doing the job that I'm supposed to do for y'all. I'm going to hurry up and get that out of the way. And then for the other 5 hours, I'm going to be working on my business. I got to be here anyway. I might as well make the most of it. I have to be here. So that means that I am going to be working on my business. I'm going to be doing my homework. I'm going to be taking care of everything. My level of productivity is going to be different than your level of productivity because you think that you going to work means that is the thing that you then got the most. Oh, no. I had to go to work for 8 hours, but you didn't have 8 hours worth of productivity. I got 15 hours to get everything done. 15 hours. Anton, how are you getting everything? Because I'm doing 15 hours worth of work in 8. Most of us, if you're a software engineer, if you take care of this, you take care of that, or whatever it is that you do professionally, we don't work 8 hours. We don't work 8 hours. When I'm on my way into the office, I am calling 3 people every single day, 5 minutes per person, put them in a rotation. So that way they remember me. Anytime a business deal or something comes up, they think about me. Yo, hey, what's going on, fam? What you doing? I'm looking at the clock. Oh, you know what? Oh, no, I just ran into such and such the other day. It was telling me that they ran into you. No, man, how's everything going? Okay, listen, I'm going to talk to you later. I just wanted to tap in with you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Hit the next person. I'm not in the car just winging it. I'm not in there twiddling my thumbs. I got to drive, and this drive is going to be a half hour. 15 minutes of it, I'm going to be talking and connecting and doing networking. What? People are not productive. That is the biggest problem that I see for people every single day. They are not productive. If I wind up taking a lunch, it probably is going to be a nap. I got 45 minutes. All right. As soon as I get up, I'm back. I got my second win for the day. By the time I get off of work, I'm already fresh. A lot of y'all not planning accordingly. You know what I'm saying? I might have, when I go into the office in my studio, I got clothes in the studio, clothes here, clothes there, no matter where it is that I go. I'm cooking. I'm working up. I'm working 100% of the time. I got to take a plane flight today. That means that in my mind, I'm looking at my calendar. Okay, so that is the time that I would normally do this, and this. All right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure that I get this recorded, get this taken care of. I'm going to talk to that person, make sure this person is coordinated with me, and we're going to make sure that all of the uploads is on there. I know that my plane got Wi-Fi, so I can do I can't do any uploads, no large uploads, but I can definitely attach whatever cover photos that I need to. Okay, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to take care of this. And nothing ever missed. Don't matter if I'm on a plane, don't matter if I'm in the car. I am proactively thinking about my steps before I do it. Very few people. I'm not 2 people in one. A lot of people, oh, you got this large team. No, I don't. I work my butt off. I'm putting systems in place. We got a new app that we developing, that we building. We got new homes. I go over there on my way home. Okay, so I know that path is going to take me additional 7 minutes out the way, but it's cool because I'm going to take that path. That way I can go and check on what the inspector did, the workers, whatever, so on and so forth. I'm leveraging tools, putting things in place, making sure that I get alerts, all of that stuff, man. Listen, in 8 hours, I'm going to do 16 hours worth of work, easy, compared to what a normal American worker is going to do. In 8 hours, I'm going to do 16 hours worth of work compared to what a normal everyday worker would do. They'll tell you, when I was up on the rooftop watching the Pistons beat the hell out of the Knicks the other day, you know what I had? My computer. I had my iPad. I was in there. When I seen Cade dunking and point to Melo, I jumped out my seat. I was excited as hell. Everybody else was up there drinking. Yeah. I was talking, chatting, getting the cover photo together, getting the subjects ready to laugh. I live streamed that night, right? We live streamed. Definitely did the Monday night show. We was putting that together. Okay, so I got to get hey, you do this, you do that. Okay, cool. I'm watching the game. I'm engaged. I'm thinking about it, but at the same time, I'm paying attention. Okay, so I got to make sure that this is chopped up, this is done, this is done, this is done. All right, we got to make sure we do this. This is going to be a late night show. Got to have that clip going up in the morning so that I don't wake up and have to do that. I use a Google Calendar. And it's synced on all of my devices. I use the cloud. I leverage all of these things that we have. Y'all use all of these tools at work every single day, and then you come home and act like a Neanderthal. We have to be smart. We have to dress for success. And when I'm saying dress for success, I'm not talking about the way you look. That is important too. But dress for success when it comes to the things that you are doing to put yourself in a position to be successful later. That's why I never cared about how long it took me to build a platform, because I was doing it while I was at work anyway. They're paying me to ultimately put together the videos. I might edit a video, throw some extra stuff in there. You're paying me to be here. What else I got to do? What else I got to do than to build for the future? By the time I leave this job, this thing gonna be in motion. This thing gonna be in motion. Man, I had a full-time job. I had a full-time job and running businesses, and I was building a restaurant at the same time. I was putting together menus. I was working with different people, calling the contractors, making sure things was done. And if you work from home, shame on you. If you work from home, shame on you for not being productive. Because that means that you have ultimate autonomy to be able to take care of business every single day and make no excuses on what it is that you're going to get. You telling me that all you got to do is wake up, you ain't got no drive time, and I know you ain't doing work 100% of the time. Most of y'all not even on camera when you got to get on a Zoom call. And you telling me you can't build a business, you can't put together a business plan, you can't get your nonprofit started, you can't take care of nothing. All you doing is sleeping and answering the phone. You got 2 meetings today. One of them is only a half hour. You probably going to do another hour's worth of work. That means you're going to probably do 2.5 hours worth of work at your job. You're going to get paid for 8. And you're telling me that you don't have your resume together. Your LinkedIn is not 100% taken care of. Your social media profiles are still looking dusty. All of that stuff should be taken care of. Every day you should have a checkpoint. Hey, listen. All right, this is what I'm going to get done. This is what I'm going to take care of. This is what I'm going to work on today. I'm going to allocate an hour to this. I'm going to allocate 2 hours to that. And I'm going to allocate an hour to this. Everything that you have should be boom, 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 boom. Everything should be 100% taken care of. What are we doing? Listen, if you are a part of the Bag Chasers, shout out to the Patreon members. If you are a part of this live stream, if you are part of the people that rock out with me, I want to know that you guys are being productive. Listen, we go back and forth, we debate, we talk about different subjects, we talk about popular culture. I got liberals on this side, I got conservatives on this side, I got men on this side, and I got women on this side. But at the end of the day, I need every last one of y'all to be productive in whatever it is that you're doing. I want to see you successful, regardless of whether you agree with me or not. I want to see you successful. If you watch this show, I want you to be great. I want you to have a fruitful life. I want you to be debt-free. I want you to have successful businesses, because you not being great don't hurt me. It actually speaks to the community of people that rock with me. I don't want to be rich by myself. I don't want it to be 3 people over here, 5 people over here, and then we just spending the majority of our time just shooting the nonsense, talking about girls and men. Where the money at? Where is the money at the end of the day? With all of this entertainment, if you're not getting your slice of money in some way, shape, or form from the value that we add to the businesses that you build, if you're not saving money on your taxes, if you're not leveraging your portfolio, if you're not running up a bag in some way, shape, or form, where is the money at? That's all I want to know. When we get off of here, I don't think about the holes that's over there or whether or not Canadians like us or not. The thing I'm trying to figure out is how much more money can I put in my bank account so that I can do the thing that I want to do for my daughter, for my people, for the people that work with me, for my partners, all of that stuff. I don't care about social products and all of this stuff. I'll get that when I go out to the streets and I party and I throw a bunch of money in the air. Where is the money at? Where's the money at? That's all I want to know. Where's the money at? Every year, you should be making at least 20 to 25% more than you made the year before, and it don't have to just come from your job. Every year, you should be scaling up 20 to 25% of how much you take in every single year. I don't care what you got going on. If you're not running up a bag, if your life is not significantly better this year than it was last year, then I'm not doing my job. And maybe you need to reach out to me so that I can better understand how I could pour into you or give you the information you need to be successful. The entertainment is cool, but where is the money at? That's all I want to know. All right? Let's run it up. Let's be successful. We're not sitting on our hands. We're not being unproductive. We're pouring life into each other. All right? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. That should be your life goal. 20 to 25% better than I was last year in everything I do. If I feel like I'm overweight, then I need to lose 20 to 25% of whatever that goal is. And then 25. If you get to your ideal weight, then I need to be 20 to 25% more muscle than whatever. I don't care what it is. Whatever you do, be better than you were the year before. Every year we just gonna stand on it. We're gonna take accountability, we're gonna take ownership of where we are, and we're gonna be better than we were the year before. All right, that's it. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the money and get into the show. Let me read a couple of, actually, you know what, let me acknowledge this real quick. Shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you. He said, I love you, bro. Thanks for the bag. I appreciate you too, Mike, that dude. Thank you. Spencer Campbell says, AD, good morning to the bag chasers. Shout out to Mike, that dude, and Spencer Campbell. I appreciate you. Let me acknowledge a couple of these super chats. Eugene Miller says, do you include fitness in your day as well? I am. I do. Yo, listen, I went on that rant about bacon yesterday. But I got people that is really on my head and holding me accountable, so I appreciate them for that. Y'all know who you are. Do you know what I ate yesterday? I ate, matter of fact, going to my DoorDash. I wound up DoorDashing it. Rate my delivery. There, I just rated my delivery right there. There you go. Rated my delivery from yesterday. This is a restaurant called Breadless. Yep. I had a Cajun chicken, tomato, lettuce, pickle, breadless wrapped in spinach and whatever the heck this is, and lettuce. No chips, no sweets, no bacon, no none of that. No nothing, just that. Got me eating no bread, no sugar, no none of that. No Coke, all water. And then you hit the gym and then you do the calisthenics, making sure we get at least 100 to 150 push-ups every single day. That's what it is. That's all I'm doing. That's what I'm on. Water, aquapana, breadless, and that's pretty much it, bro. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, man, push-ups, at least 30 minutes of cardio, 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. We lift a little bit, and we just changing lifestyles, bro. That's it. Just changing lifestyles. No fried foods, grilled or baked. That's what we're rocking with. So, nope, I haven't been drinking any hot chocolate. None of that stuff. Just my refrigerator. I wish y'all could see my refrigerator. They ain't got nothing in it. Rice, spinach. And it's cool. I ain't tripping about it. We just chilling. We chilling. So we gonna get there. We gonna get there and we gonna rock it out. Shout out to Gene Miller. I appreciate you. V Nicole, my girl. Listen, nurses love AD. Nurses love AD. Says happy Wednesday, handsome friend. Oh man, V Nicole, I'm gonna need to see you in June in DC. You have been such a blessing. The portfolio is popping. I wish I had my little thing to do the applause. Appreciate all of the knowledge you give daily. Nurses love AD. Hashtag bag chasers for life. Shout out to my nurses out there getting to it. Look up beef, bacon, Anton. I think you'll love it. No, I'm not even going to entertain the nonsense. Fish and greens only for 12 weeks. Join me. Nah. I'm going to just stick with plant-based and then throw a little bit of grilled chicken or something like that in there. But I appreciate y'all offering. Shout out to my dog, Ray Sean, one of my greatest students of all time with the 200 ball. we can afford to do that because he is awesome. Shout out to my guys. Shout out to everybody that hold me down. I appreciate y'all. Ray Sean, I love you, bro. Morning, everybody, says Dre with the K. Every Tuesday, I'm watching the live with Trap. Then on to after hours. Have to be consistent with receiving all of the games. Shout out to Dre with the K. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody that pour into the show. I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are great. All right. Quentin says chicken doesn't come from plants. I think I'm aware of that, Quentin. Oh, you know what I've noticed also? You can't be extreme. You just got to be consistent. I'm not interested in being extreme. I'm just interested in being consistent. But I love you too, Quentin. That's my guy. Anyways, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Matt Washington says, love the morning show on positivity and motivation. Thank you, Matt. We may get derailed later. Young Reckless says, anti-men are saying they can't find countless women. There are lots in these cities, etc. Most are sexy reds and Miss Independent. What should they do? Settle? I think that they need to get a different friend group, get a different network. I think that they need to put themselves in different places and the surroundings. Listen, you can't go to the same places and expect different types of people. If you're going to brunch, if you're going to the bar, if you go outside, one of the things that I think is the problem with a lot of people is they are on these apps and they just keep on shooting a shot on Hinge and Tinder and Instagram and all of that. Listen, there are people that are available and you don't need a whole lot of them. You only need one good one. There are people out there that they're not dusty. You just got to change your friend group. I promise you. I promise you. Y'all are all in the same areas, in the same places, doing the same things, shooting the same shots with the same women and passing them around. You have to get out. You have to go outside. You got to go out and participate in society. You got to go and see what's happening out here. There are people out there that is getting to it, taking care of business and running it up, and they not dusty. And they may not be in just the regular spots that you in. Go into the office every once in a while. Go out and do stuff. They are outside. They are outside. I'm telling you. There are people outside that are really good human beings and they're productive. And they're not all in the same space. They're not all in the tourist areas. Listen, here in Detroit, they riding up and down the DeQuinder Cut. They riding their bikes every day, interacting with each other. They go to the park. They go to the gym. They go to the spots. They out for lunch. They dress really nice. They at the ribbon cuttings. They at the new events. They at the city council meetings. They do stuff. People are outside every single day. You walk down the Riverwalk right here. The weather is good. It be people every day. They speak to you. Hey, what's going on? It be walking clubs, running clubs. It's all kind of stuff. It's stuff happening every single day. Fishing clubs. People going back and forth over here. People doing that. It's got a conference over here. And if you really get desperate, go to Comic-Con. Oh, anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Let's go ahead and get into the show, y'all. So, because I got a flight to catch today. I want to bring Chicago, as usual, to the front of the congregation because, I got a special place in my heart for Brandon Johnson. So, lately, I've been talking to you guys about what? Budgets. Remember last year when we had this conversation and we said, listen, Chicago is facing I remember the number to the T. It was $942 million budget deficit. We were in 2024 and Chicago was facing a $942 million budget deficit. Do y'all remember that? Does anybody in the chat remember me going through and saying, oh man, they trying to raise property taxes. They putting in a new bag tax. They are trying to, get businesses, regentrify, all of this stuff. They were trying to figure out any way that they could plug that hole without laying people off. Because the big thing was, how do we plug this budget hole without laying people off. And the people absolutely rejected. They rejected 1,000 times Brandon Johnson. They rejected him 2, 3, 4 times in his budget proposal to raise property taxes. Just recently, within the last couple of days, I've been talking to y'all about Los Angeles. I've also talked to you guys about California, how California is in a budget deficit, billions, tens of billions of dollars in a budget deficit. Los Angeles is just did they budget. Karen Bass did State of the City. She said that they are $1 billion in the hole. Right? Because I say that I'm going to tell y'all this every day. If y'all have not hit a like for the algorithm without me telling you where to find some more box, that's a problem. If y'all have not tapped into the Patreon without finding out where more box is, that's a problem. But here's the key, and this is the thing that I keep trying to tell you guys. The reason why these politicians, aldermen, councilmen, people that are managing these budgets, city council people, church members, whoever it is that are running for office, community leaders, even if they didn't plug, let's say, for example, last year, Chicago said, you know what? Brandon Johnson, we're not going to raise any property taxes while at the same time we have to make a pension payment and we're not going to have any layoffs. Well, they had natural attrition. They still down over 2,000 police officers, and they decided to raise more taxes by having a bag tax and a Netflix tax and all of these other taxes. And so they're going to nickel and dime you and they're going to cut you by 1,000 cuts. And then the people said, well, at least we didn't have any layoffs. Well, guess what? That was 2024 projecting for 2025. We're in 2025, and guess what they've already determined? That they are going to be facing another $1 billion budget deficit over in Chicago for 2026. Because you have not fixed the fundamental problems that is wrong with these cities, and you do not have business leaders. You have elementary school teachers, former elementary school teachers that are running the city. Chicago is anticipating another $1 billion budget deficit for 2026. And guess what? It's going to happen in 2027. It's going to happen in 2028. It's going to happen in 2029. And it's going to happen in 2030. And the same thing is going to happen in Los Angeles. And the same thing is going to happen over in Denver. I'm telling you guys what is going to happen every single time. Every single time. Don't believe me? Go ahead and listen to what they got to say.
The city of Chicago already dealing with a massive budget gap this year of almost $1 billion. And now Mayor Brandon Johnson is warning the problem is not going away next year or even the year after.
And he's putting together a working group to invest.
I promise you I have not even watched this video. I looked at the title of it. It wasn't even supposed to be a part of this live stream today. I'm supposed to be talking about migrant crime and fed up with crime in Chicago. That's why this title at the bottom of the screen says that. I seen this at the last minute. I seen the headline. I said, I knew it. 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 I predicted it. I'm telling you that these people don't know what the hell they doing. I didn't even know that she was going to say next year and the year after that. I did not watch the video at all. I included it at the last minute, threw this in there. Didn't even change the bottom of the screen, just threw it in there just to have this conversation because I'm telling you, I told you so. I told you so. These people are completely incompetent. If you live in these cities, you are going to suffer. I'm telling you right now. You are going to get significant property tax increases. You are going to have less police presence. You are going to have sanitation problems. They are going to cut back on transportation options, public transportation options. You are going to see school teachers. You're going to see strikes. You're going to see the unions that are supporting whatever government jobs that they have. They're going to protest. They're going to riot. They're going to absolutely, positively eat each other every single day. I am telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, if you live in a major city, you need to really take inventory of what they're doing in these budget meetings, these planning meetings, because your city is going to eat you alive. It is going to destroy your life. When we talk about the true cost of living, while they sitting there and they holding Trump accountable and they saying, hey, listen, we don't want the government, Department of Government Efficiency going through an audit in the federal government to figure out what's going on. In the meantime, they laying off people, and they're going to be laying off people over in your major city and in your state because they can't afford to keep them because they mismanaging the budget and they not being proactive with making sure that they run the government efficiently. I'm telling you, you are going to suffer ASAP. The people are the ones that suffer for the mismanagement and the misfortunes from the administrations.
Investigate that ongoing crisis. NBC5's Christian Farr has reaction.
Mayor Brandon Johnson received a round of applause after signing an executive order that will launch a working group charged with investigating the city's ongoing budget issues. Besides this year's budget deficit, the mayor's office says the city is facing a projected gap of $1.12 billion next year.
It's increasing every year. They already know what's going to happen. It's all the way up through 2030. They can project it. They running businesses out. They are over here talking about spending the black with these little stupid vendors. Meanwhile, you're facing a 1.12, 1.32. And guess what? Because Chicago's credit rating. See, nobody is talking to y'all like this, and y'all don't appreciate it. It's impossible for you to appreciate what I do on this live stream every single day because you haven't even hit a like for the algorithm. It's impossible for you to appreciate what we do on this live stream every day because nobody is talking about this in depth. They already know. They already know.
Year and $1.32 billion in 2027.
And largely due to the rising personnel, pension, and contractual costs that we have. At the same time, we face unprecedented threats from the federal government.
Oh, it's the federal government's fault. Interesting. $942 million budget deficit was already in place before Trump even got voted in, before he ever even took office.
Watchdog group called Center for Tax and Budget Accountability sees this as a solid move by the Johnson administration, stressing that the city's budget gap issues have been a problem that were created by more than one previous administration.
This is getting all the stakeholders at the table that really should be involved in trying to help inform the city resolve its long-term fiscal problems. You have the business community will be there, the labor community will be there.
The cuts are going to be deep. The impact on workers are going to be harsh.
Alderman Ray Lopez and other critics of the mayor say he should have put this working group together at the beginning of his administration. Alderman Lopez says the city has an ongoing spending problem right now that needs to be addressed in order to control the continuing deficit.
That's his own fiscal mismanagement on full display right now. And to say that you're going to bring some working group together when you've had aldermen try to tell you and sound the alarm for your entire tenure at this point only tells me that you're now just trying to cover your rear end because you know you cannot hide and lie any longer.
I'm telling you guys that it's going to get worse before it gets better. And Chicago's credit rating actually took a downgrade. Well, what does that mean, Anton? It means that now you guys are going to be paying even higher interest on the debt that Chicago already has, similar to what we paying on the federal government level. When they say, hey, we need to find the cuts, we need to find the savings, we can't spend any more money outside of the United States of America. Yo, F your AIDS program, F your Sesame Street program over here in a different country because we're paying $1 to $2 trillion in interest every single year. It's the same thing that's happening on a local level for you guys. Chicago is in shambles. Shambles. Thank God. You know what? I never thought in my entire life that Chicago would get a credit rating downgrade and Detroit would be getting a credit rating upgrade. That means that they're paying more on the interest that they already borrowed and they don't even own their own streets. Never thought in my entire life that we'd be seeing big little brother over there getting a credit rating downgrade while Detroit is getting a credit rating upgrade. We have buildings. I'm looking at the construction. We building new hotels. This is crazy. And the reason that I knew that this was going to happen is because I seen it happen to us in 2008. I seen it happen to us in 2008. What you guys need to do, and I'm going to just save this other story for tomorrow from the story that I actually wanted to talk about. I'll save that for tomorrow. What you guys need to do, because really the question then becomes, well, Anton, how do we either capitalize or pivot? Two ways. Number one, because you want to know my honest to God in my heart. This has nothing to do with Chicago versus Detroit. I think that the United States of America needs to come together to make sure that we do the right thing for the people, because the people are the ones that's going to suffer. All right. I believe that eventually, I'm telling you right now, April 23rd, 2025, Chicago will eventually, within the next 5 to 6 years, they will file for bankruptcy. Chicago, within the next 5 to 6 years, will file for bankruptcy. Los Angeles will not be far behind them. Los Angeles is trying to triple the incentives to the film industry that is already left to come back so that they can start to fill the coffers. They hope to get a boost, a financial boost from the World Cup and the 2026 Olympics. Chicago, I am telling you, you hearing it right now. They are going to file for bankruptcy within the next 5 to 6 years, definitively. It is already written. You cannot unmath the math. The numbers is not going to make no changes. They're going to have to redo pensions. People are going to get laid off. It's going to be horrific. We've seen it. We lived through it right here in my own city. Thank God we had competent leadership to come in here and change the direction of the city, and now we booming. If you are a halfway decent person that has equity in your home, I would be looking for another job to relocate from the place that I am if I am there. Unless you are willing to suffer, because it's going to take 20 years. It's going to take 20 years for you to recover. 15 for you to get through it, 5 for you to start to actually see the progress. I was young enough to be able to be willing to endure through it. Because now at 43, it's like, yeah, man, I was able to endure through it. And we was able to capitalize off of it because we was able to get all the land for cheap, which then fed into my net worth today. And that's how, and now we booming. Now sky's the limit. Now we boom. I was young enough to deal with it. I was 26 years old and I said, you know what? I'm going to just hold it down. If you're 40, if you're 50, you tell me, are you willing to deal with a 20-year turnaround plan? And they haven't even hit bottom yet. They're on their way like this. They like this. Chicago is like this right now. Going right on down, right on down. And Los Angeles ain't far behind them. Denver at a smaller level ain't far behind them. I'm telling you right now. You don't have to like me. Take into consideration what I'm saying. Make the adjustment. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move over to the next part of the show. Somebody not hearing me right now. Whoo! Nate Bit says, I'll front you your first pack. Where to send it? I don't want no packs. Don't put my name on it. Marka J says, fly me out, AD. I'll get you right in 90 days for the freebie. Let me think about that. I'll think about that, Marka J. Jay Thomas says, what up, Anton? You often talk about buying and holding long term, but what is a good strategy for option trading? I don't believe in option trading. I want to do a Netflix call option. I just want your opinion. I do not believe in options trading. I do not believe in it. I don't believe in it. Everything that I do is a long-term play. Everything I do, from the business that I do, from the people I surround myself with, to what I do with my portfolio, to my real estate, everything is a 10-year play. Everything is a 10-year play. Vincent Holder says, good morning, AD. You are a blessing to your community. I appreciate your work. Thank you, Vincent. 392Q says, I just had to look at St. Louis budget and we are 42 million surplus with a AA credit rating. Thank you for your insight for me to look at it. Crime just sucks here, but it's getting better. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. If they're operating at a surplus and they're not a sanctuary city and they're not actually continuing to do the worst things for people, if the business community is starting to rally behind it, all you need is one good boost. You need one good supporter, a Roger Penske, a Dan Gilbert, a community of people, businesses that want to continue to reinvest. Y'all gonna take off. St. Louis may be an opportunity. I said it before. St. Louis might be an opportunity. The big cities, that's not where to play at, y'all. The super big cities is not where to play at, y'all. All right. Aaron Good says, AD, Chicago in here. What does a city filing for bankruptcy ultimately mean for the citizens? Weighing the pros and cons of saying, well, the city filing for bankruptcy is reorganization of debt. But in the interim, what it means is that there's largely going to be a freeze on everything. Usually it's a freeze on hiring. Usually you have a hold on big businesses doing business with the city because they can't get the incentives that they want and stuff like that. So a lot of times crime will go up. A lot of times the business community will become stagnant, but they have to reorganize their debt. So it's going to be a lot of layoffs. People may have a pause and want to reinvest in it. But basically, the city is going to have to put up some big incentives. They're going to have to get some good leadership to reorganize the debt and then be able to run a city effectively. And basically, the city got to do more with less. So the opportunity comes after the bankruptcy, because once they discharge the debt, then basically the city get a fresh balance sheet so that they can operate more efficiently, and hopefully y'all get a better mayor or a better city council and all of that in there. But the problem with Chicago is that you guys have definitively said, we don't look at it from a business perspective. We only care about blue versus red, and we are diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we gonna blackety-black ourselves to death. Detroit says, listen, we welcome anybody. Anybody want to come in and do business? Anybody want to come in and take a house? Hey, take this house, take this property. We just want to get it on the tax rolls, and we want to work with the businesses. Dan Gilbert then said that we want to bring all of our employees from Rocket Mortgage and Quicken Loans into the city. We built new stadiums. We reinvested in our infrastructure. We invested in our leadership. We invested in police presence, and it started to boom. And that's when we got a credit rating rise. And now we having a population incline instead of a decline. The problem with Chicago is that everybody is leaving Chicago. So it got to get better. I mean, got to get worse before it get better. That's my personal opinion. DP says, running a change management meeting for a project and managed service clients while looking through my brokerage account is too easy when you work from home. Run it up, big dog. Hey, Anton, I live in Los Angeles and I'm a hairstylist. You said that LA may be going down like Chicago. When is the best time to move? Yesterday. And don't do it in a panic. You got time, because they're going to continue to, in my opinion, have a budget deficit. Los Angeles is going to have a budget deficit next year and the year after and the year after and the year after that. And it's going to be more. Right now, Los Angeles is in a $1 billion budget deficit. They freezing hiring. They down over 2,000 police officers. They're putting more money in the fire because instead of like EMS and the fire department, because they just had that big scandal with not having enough firefighters and stuff. So they doing that for political reasons. But you guys got bad leadership. And until you get better leadership in the governor, I don't have no hope for California right now, because I believe, and this is the reason why we say we have conversations about politics, because politics intersect with business. If you guys get Kamala Harris for governor, forget it, bro. We had Jennifer Granholm. You know who Jennifer Granholm was working under? The Biden administration. Jennifer Granholm got a promotion from being governor of Michigan when she ran this city into the ground. And she then became a part of the presidential cabinet for the Biden administration. And she was sitting next to Biden the entire time. Molly, no. We had Jennifer Granholm. Yes, we did. And Los Angeles is facing a massive gap, I think that the opportunities to grow, the opportunity for more affordable living is in smaller cities. Now, the problem with Los Angeles, though, is that a lot of y'all can't deal with the weather outside of Los Angeles. So that's when a lot of Los Angelinos move over to Texas because they're trying to find a similar weather that they can rock out with. People over in Los Angeles, they're a stubborn group of people. They would rather be homeless with good weather and living in a box than to move and then be prosperous financially. Seriously. That is Los Angeles. People in Los Angeles, they got spoiled by the weather and illegal migrants, and it's hard for them to move. It's hard for them to move. Los Angeles people, they be like, skip it. I'ma just live, I'ma sleep on the bench tonight in front of the weather, in front of the water. Dodging doo-doo and everything. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. Elon. I want to talk about Elon Musk. Profits are down at Tesla by 71%, they are saying. So make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to play a couple clips, one from the opposite end. I want to go Fox News, and then I want to go CNN. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts about Tesla and their profits being down 21%. I'm going to try not to talk too much about it because I don't want to give y'all no stock club info on a Millionaire Morning Show. But I'll give you guys my thoughts on Elon Musk and the profits being down at Tesla, which I knew that this was going to happen also. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
In Tesla, the stock is now up, but yesterday their net income was announced. It's down 71%. And Elon Musk even said, he admitted that Tesla faced a lot of blowback from his ties to Donald Trump. And now he's talking, and we're going to play a little snippet of it. He says, you know what, maybe I better go back to the car company because they need me.
Starting probably in next month, May, my time allocation to Doge will drop significantly. So I think I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so, and as long as it is useful. But starting next month, I'll be allocating far more of my time to Tesla. And now that the major work with establishing the Department of Government Efficiency is done, there are some challenges, and I expect that this year will be there'll probably be some unexpected bumps this year. But I remain extremely optimistic about the future of the company.
I think that Tesla is going to be just fine this quarter. And so a lot of times when they announce earnings, they announce it quarterly. They said it was down 71%. Now, in my personal opinion, they already should have seen this coming. They should have seen this coming a mile away. And one of the things that I talk about in Stock Club, we have the 8 things that we look for when we look to invest in a company. One of the things is management. And so one of the things that I talk about in Stock Club is the difference between management and how that plays a huge role on whether or not a company is going to be mega successful, because the goal is to sell cars, which ultimately, you being a technology company, you pivot with that, and then you leverage AI, you leverage all of the profits from selling cars into developing other things like the Tesla bot, right? So long term, I believe that if you are betting on Tesla, then you are betting on Elon Musk right now, because he's not going anywhere. His fortunes are integrated and tied with the success of Tesla. I agree with Elon Musk's political stance. The problem with that is that that has nothing to do with capitalism. Let me say that again. It has nothing to do with capitalism. Anton, what do you mean by that has nothing to do with capitalism? Who you are as a capitalist, as a business owner. This is the reason why you'll see somebody like a George Soros funding different things. This is the reason why you see super PACs and you don't see anybody's name attached to it. It's because they may believe a certain way, but they don't want that to impact what they do from a business perspective. And so because Elon Musk is quite possibly the most outspoken CEO of all time, especially in my lifetime, then he's basically, when he took a political stance, he's basically turned half the country against him. That's when you've seen people that are easily manipulated to go out and say, hey, I want to protest Tesla. Why? Because even though I may agree with them that the federal government is operating inefficiently and we need to audit the federal government and he's supporting Trump, the fact that he did so played a huge role in public perception because marketing is king. So now, whereas you had a whole bunch of liberals, and think about the reversal of fortunes here, right? You had a whole bunch of liberals that were pushing EVs. They believed in the Green New Deal and to go with electrification, and we need to get rid of these gas guzzlers. Remember when Obama did clunkers for cars and we were pushing the EV movement and smaller vehicles and a smaller footprint? Now, all of a sudden, the same liberals who were pushing this mandate, when the Biden administration came to Elon Musk because they couldn't get any infrastructure up on, building these superchargers and more infrastructure so that we'll have more of a China-like economy where you can have a whole lot of electric cars. When Biden went to Elon Musk and said, hey, we need your Tesla's network. We want you to continue to build out the infrastructure, and we want you to open it up to other automakers. That's why if you go to any Tesla supercharger, if anybody got a Tesla, you've been to a supercharger, you look up, you see a Ford, the EV Mustang. You look up, you see a Kia. You look up, you see a Hyundai electric. You see a Chevy Equinox charging. You see some vehicle, some electric vehicle. You're like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on over here? That is because Elon Musk did Biden a favor and he said, listen, we'll let you use a Mach-E. We'll let you use our supercharger network because the government is inefficient in their ability to stand one up on their own. Even though we as taxpayers approved it with billions of dollars, we don't even know where that money went. And so because Elon Musk became more outspoken, what happened? Half of the country turned against him, even if he was doing the right thing for America. Even if we all know that we need to audit the federal government. It doesn't matter because when you get AOC and Jasmine Crockett and Bernie Sanders and they say, oh my God, you should be against billionaires, be against Elon Musk, that then tends to take a toll on your fortunes. Don't matter how innovative you are, don't matter any of that. When you turn half the country, this is the thing that I say with the Black community. It's no different. It's just at a much larger scale. It's at a much larger scale. I say it with the Black community all the time. Hey, listen, don't label your business as a Black-owned business. Well, why? Because you alienate 86% of the population and tell them don't come and patronize your business. It doesn't matter if you're pro-Black. Why do you got to promote it as that? It don't matter what you do in your living room. You are a business owner. Your job is to present the best options possible, to give the best service possible, and to try not to alienate your customer base because you don't want people to not rock with you based off of their perception of how you market yourself. It's the same thing. You got half of the country that came in and they said, okay, now we don't like Elon Musk because he aligned with Trump. So what Elon Musk is doing now is he's pivoting away and he's saying, listen, now that the Department of Government Efficiency is out, guess who won in this deal? As much as I like Elon Musk, and even Trump said it clearly. He said, listen, Elon Musk is doing this country a great service because he's sacrificing himself for the benefit of being able to save the country. Guess who won in this deal? It's a person that everybody forgot. I'm going to see if y'all can figure it out in the chat. Guess who won in this deal? I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds. You got it, Jimmy Jam. You got it, Jimmy Jam. Vivek Ramaswamy. Do you know why Vivek won? Because Vivek was, listen, he ain't get rich by being stupid. He seen this writing on the wall listen, when they started determining who was going to play what role in the cabinet, I personally believe that Vivek was like, that's not quite what I was thinking that I should do for myself. So I'm still loyal, but I'm going to step away for a second. I believe that Vivek said, yo, I'll rock with y'all. I love y'all, but I don't want to be at the center of attention. I don't want them to say Elon and Vivek. I am going to maybe throw my hat in the ring for governor of Ohio. Oh, yeah. That sounds like a better thing for me. Governor of Ohio. Vivek Ramaswamy seen this on the wall, and he's saying that he didn't want to attach that because he had greater aspirations from a business perspective and a political perspective. And I think Vivek made an informed decision, and he did put his big boy pants on. And he said, you know what? I'm not really sure that this is going to work. Let me step away quietly. You ain't heard nothing. Vivek ain't even in the news. Ain't nobody talking negatively about him. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about Vivek Ramaswamy. He ain't even did no interviews lately. Vivek has been MIA. Where you at, Vivek? I want to know where you at, big dog. I think that you made a smart decision. You played chess when everybody else was playing checkers. They told you that you was crazy. I thought that you was a genius at the time. I never bought into the BS that, oh man, you know what? They just had a difference of opinion. No, I think you made the best decision for yourself. Vivek was on MGTOW. He said, save yourself. Save yourself, black man, Indian man.
Profits plunging tonight. Elon Musk just reporting a 71% plunge in profits. 71%. As he rails against Trump's tariffs in a call going on right now. You will hear him in his own words in a call that Outfront has.
No, I ain't talking about no Fox News interview. That's a snippet. That's a quick hit. I'm talking about sitting on the couch, talking to people for over an hour long, giving an interview about his thoughts and being able to deep dive. That's what I'm talking about. He was on streaming platforms. He was on everything. I think he was with Aiden Ross, something like that. But Vivek ain't did. He been chilling. He been quiet.
Team. Also breaking new details on Pete Hegseth's, what he's thinking.
Get into this.
Just major blow tonight with profits plunging more than 70%. And Musk just moments ago in a call that we've obtained admits this reason as to why.
There's been some blowback for the time that I've been spending in government with the Department of Government Efficiency or DOGE. There are some challenges, and I expect that this year will be. There'll probably be some unexpected bumps this year.
This is this earnings call that's going on right now from Tesla. There will be more bumps, he says, because even though Musk tonight said he is keeping his word and stopping his full-time work for Trump and DOGE next month, which he is required to do with his role as a special government employee, right? So that's what he's already said he was going to do. The truth is, the headline may not be that he's stepping aside as he was saying he was due. It's actually that he is not going anywhere.
I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters for as long as the president would like me to do so.
A day or two a week. I mean, 2 days a week out of 5. I mean, you get it, right? That's 40%. That's a lot of time. I mean, that would mean for roughly the next 3.5 years, if Trump wants him around, Elon Musk is going to be in the Oval Office with Trump a couple days a week. Now, that's obviously significant. And Elon is speaking on this Tesla call, spoke for a majority of the call, in fact, which began about 90 minutes ago. And just to be very clear, Elon Musk being on the call and talking for as long as he has, right? So we're now talking 90 minutes or so this has been going on, is not a business as usual thing. He does not usually get on this call and talk. In fact, in 2021, he said this.
I think
I don't need to know what he said in 2021. In summary, what do I think? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I think. I think that Tesla will be just fine. I think that Tesla is going to be a mega successful company. In the pipeline, they have some incredible things. They're integrating all of the information that they've learned from social media and having X, formerly known as Twitter, with Grok and AI. and they're using that data, and they're using the data to map the United States of America every single day. Full self-driving is going to continue to run up. And I think that the newest products, the Tesla bots and things like that, that is where the huge opportunity lies. So if you are a long-term investor, I think that Tesla is going to be exceptionally one of the best buys that you can buy at a discount today. And again, this is my personal thoughts. This is not me telling you what to do. I think that if you are a long-term investor and you're not easily swayed by what happens today on a political front, I think that Tesla is going to be just fine. Nothing is going to happen to Tesla. I don't think that there's going to be any layoffs. I think that he'll be just fine. And I think that shareholders and board members were quietly behind the scenes nudging him to get back to work and to refocus his energy. And I don't even think that they want him to say that he's going to be spending 1 day a week in the White House. I think that they want him to focus. Whatever you're going to do it behind the scenes and focus 100% on continuing to run this company up and build great products. So that's my thoughts on that. I think that Tesla's going to be fine. I think that they're going to continue to run up a bag. Let me pivot for a second and read some of these super chats. Shout out to Causell says, you think Gotham, Oakland filed for bankruptcy already? No, Oakland hasn't filed for bankruptcy. Not that I'm aware of. Did I hear something about Oakland filing for bankruptcy? No, Oakland is coming. Their time is coming. Yes, St. Louis is not a sanctuary city. It's a blue city, but being the biggest city in Missouri, not bad. It's not bad. I haven't visited St. Louis. I haven't been there yet. I'm going to come to St. Louis this summer. What will DC look like in the next 10 years? I think that DC is going to be fine. DC is still, even though it's a super liberal, super blue city, DC is still anchored by the political spectrum. So I think that DC is going to be fine. Molly says a horse, a hood rat, and an old geezer are carrying the Democrat Party. Let me guess who the horse, the hood rat, and the geezer is. The hood rat is Jasmine Crockett. The geezer is Bernie Sanders. And a horse gotta be AOC. Tell me if I'm right, Molly. Double Jeopardy says it's like being in that scene on Boys in the Hood when they were looking for their ops. Karen Bass being Doughboy and me being Trey sitting in the back seat say, yo, Doe, let me out. He had the blood on his blue jean shirt. Dame Sniff in the building says, hey, Anton, my coach Fuentes Fitness on YouTube helped me lose 20 pounds this year. What's your fitness win this week? I don't really measure. Not right now. I'm not chasing a number. I'm chasing a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm chasing an eating habit. I'm chasing a consistency in my workout. I'm chasing a amount of sleep that I want to get every single night. So I'm just chasing consistency. I don't really, even when it comes to money, even when it comes to business, I don't look at a number. I just continue to run it up. Odyssey of B says, what up, AD? Any update on the Patreon regarding the part 2 for content creation? Yeah, we're going to do content creation after we do Block Club. Content creation, Block Club, and then we go back to Stock Club. All right? Nope, just AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Yeah, shout out to you. I appreciate you, Odyssey of the B. DP says, yesterday I found out that to get double pay for the last 5 holidays I worked. That's going straight to Fidelity, Tesla, or QQQ might be the play. I wouldn't just immediately throw it in QQQ or Tesla right away. I would probably temporarily put it in SPY. This is me personally. Put it in, I'm not telling you what to do. SPY. QQQ is cool. I don't think you can go wrong either one. I just think that whatever you have to do, you got to have a long-term investment or a long-term perspective on it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications. Jesse, what up, Jesse Noble? I appreciate you. Thank you for holding me down also. All right, y'all, let's pivot for a second. I want to talk about Trump, Powell. There's a lot going on with the Chinese tariffs. Of course, you know that the liberal side is completely reporting it differently than the conservative side. But either way, it's news that I want to source through. Let's go through Trump's non-favorite, Caitlin Collins, and let's see what she has to say about it. And then I'm going to bring y'all up to speed on what my thoughts are on it.
President
Trump made news on two key economic fronts today. First, signaling to reporters inside the Oval Office that tariffs on China could be lowered substantially from the current 145%, and what would be a massive relief, to say the least, for investors.
Are you going to play hardball with them?
I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to mention COVID. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to play hardball with China. I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. No. We're going to be very nice.
Trump softened his...
Why would people expect for Trump to tell a reporter that he's going to play hardball with China in negotiations on tariffs? That makes zero sense. Why would he publicly say that he's going to play hardball with China instead of taking a more diplomatic approach to the negotiations so that they can have an outcome that is beneficial for the United States of America? Why would they telegraph the move like that, even if that was the move that they was going to make?
Stance on those Chinese tariffs, as he also sent stock futures somewhere they have not been a lot lately, in positive territory. But also, so did what the president said in the Oval Office about
Somebody saying, Anton, are you doubling down on why are you not doubling down on investing in Tesla? Well, if you are a part of Stock Club, then you know I've invested more into something else. That is also an EV electric company that I like even more than Tesla. That's not as visible, but I think he's just as smart. And y'all don't go into it. I'm not going to give the reasons. But again, we talk about this in Stock Club and I give more insight. So you can't just automatically just jump into something. I have my own Magnificent Seven. I got a dark horse. And then I have some other investments that I'm not going to talk about that I show the receipts for on Stock Club that I think is recession proof. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter who's in office. We deep dive into it. Let's continue, y'all. What is wrong with y'all? If I say, hold on, listen. If I say, hey, listen, don't say this, don't do that, and then y'all go out because you want to be the first person to say it or the first person to do it, and especially if you don't have any context, why do y'all? Don't worry about it. Let's continue. We're just going to go ahead and rock out.
Powell's job. Now, President Trump has spent days attacking the chairman of the Federal Reserve, saying that his termination could not come fast enough, and just yesterday calling him a, quote, major loser, and then today saying this.
No, I have no intention of firing him. I would like to see him be a little more active in terms of his idea to lower interest rates. This is a perfect time to lower interest rates. If he doesn't, is it the end? No, it's not, but it would be good timing.
My economic source was the Treasury Secretary under President Clinton and also the Director of the National Economic Council under President Obama. Larry Summers, great to have you here tonight. You heard the president there on Fed Chair Jay Powell. He sounded a lot over the last few days like he wanted him out. There were real questions about this. We saw some White House aides changing their views on it. I wonder what you make of what he had to say tonight.
Correct, Jody.
I'm an economist, not a psychologist.
Correct, Jody. So a lot of people don't know that is that the president, to my knowledge, I've done a lot of research on this, the president cannot fire the Fed chair. So when you see people put up the headlines that says Trump has no intention of firing Fed Chair Powell, you would think that CNN is more responsible with their headlines to know that Trump can't fire the Fed chair. Now, he may not necessarily care for him. He may put pressure on him to move a certain way or to resign, or he may want somebody else to replace him, but he cannot fire the Fed chair. Now, why would CNN put that as the headline, knowing that I'm pretty sure that the people over at CNN know that that's true. But let's continue. This is why Trump called them a third-rate organization.
Psychologists. I don't understand why the president says one thing one day and then the opposite the next day. Here's what I know. When the president pursues the distinctive elements of his economic program, more tariffs, more pressure on the Federal Reserve, more challenges to legal institutions, more pressure on the budget deficit.
Seemed like her neck got
When he
longer.
pursues his program more aggressively, markets plummet. When he backs off of all of his ideas and returns things to normal, markets rally. That's all one has to know. And markets look forward. And so they're making a judgment that the president's new ideas in economic policy, the tariffs, the Fed bashing, the challenges to rules of law, are very bad ideas that will do much damage to the economy. And markets recognize that, and capital flees the United States when it looks like he's going to act on those ideas. And when it looks like he was just talking, then there's more confidence and people pull back and markets normalize. But it's got to be an unfortunate circumstance where the president not being true to his word, not carrying through on his promises and threats is what markets are desperately hoping for.
The president cannot fire the Fed chair. Congress cannot fire the Fed chair. The Fed chair is nominated by the president, and then it is confirmed by the Senate, and then it serves a 4-year term. So his term may be coming up soon, but he cannot be removed or fired unless it's like some super bad thing that he did or some level of negligence that is huge or whatever. But all they can do is just spotlight what they don't agree with about the Fed, but they cannot fire the Fed, and the Congress cannot remove them either. Okay, so this is why we have to be informed. This is why when you see people talk about stuff on social media, a lot of times they need to be fact checked themselves because they are just spewing talking points that doesn't necessarily translate into what success looks like. Okay, let's continue.
That's the mark of a country that in a sense is not in reasonable control, not seen as being governed in a serious and competent way.
I mean, we saw the markets going up after just some comments that the Treasury Secretary had made behind closed doors today, not even on camera. They were just reported about in terms of the trade war with China. But what he said on China tonight, I thought was also really significant because he called the 145% tariffs that he's put in place here very high. And at one point in the Oval Office, he told reporters, and I'm quoting the president now, it will come down substantially. I do think there's a question to your point there of does that last, or, you know, does China see that as the damage has been done here?
I can't judge. I don't understand why the Secretary of the Treasury is having meetings.
All right, so this guy apparently doesn't know anything. He's saying that he can't judge, he can't give his opinion. He's just an economist. He doesn't actually speak on trade relations or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out why he's here. But the whole idea of it is, I think that it's strategic. And obviously, China, if you have been observing and listening and paying attention to international news, then you know that China is absolutely positively suffering. It's one of the reasons why they didn't raise tariffs again after Trump put the 145% tariffs on China. Their economy is sputtering, their factories are closing, and this is why they're trying to pivot and have conversations with other countries so that they can get a leg up and also be able to have some sort of leverage in the upcoming negotiations with the United States of America to make sure that they get a fair deal. Businesses are suffering like crazy, and China is scrambling to try to bolster relationships so that they can continue to export at a huge rate so that they can keep all of their factories open, because their real estate is absolutely in a bubble and their manufacturing is largely dependent on exports, and they need the rest of the world, including United States of America, to be able to take in all of their products and all of the stuff that they're putting out to the world. China by itself cannot sustain its own economy. China by itself cannot sustain its own economy. It is an exporter nation. Their people are not prosperous enough, even though they are building up their middle class. Their people do not make enough money. They do not buy their own products enough. They need the world to consume their products in order for them to be profitable. Now, that is a really, really great strategy if the world continues to consume your products. if you are able to manipulate other countries and other governments to continue to accept your products at their own demise. That means that that country will continue to benefit. They will continue to run up a bag. They can continue to have you promoted on TikTok, and then you go from there. You go from there. But the minute that you start to cut off the exports, then you start to become a poor nation. And then the question becomes, how long can you sustain this while at the same time continuing to bolster your relationships with other countries so that you can then get some kind of leverage when you go into the Trump negotiations? Oh, don't think for 1 second that China don't want to make a deal with the United States of America. They absolutely do. And the reason that they do, I tell y'all every day, is because we got you guys. And as long as you guys continue to buy all of the trash products that you want, as long as y'all continue to rock out with other countries, as long as y'all continue to support all of these other countries, then we will always be in a position of leverage because they are dependent on you guys to buy and sell as many as possible. 100%. A lot of people will say that we need China in order to continue to export cheap products. I disagree. I think that we need a cultural shift and we need to start investing in ourselves. I don't think we need most of these places. If you're asking me my honest to God opinion, I don't think that we need big box stores. I don't think that we need any of that stuff at all. Is it cool from a capitalistic perspective? Maybe. There's pros and cons to everything, but I would like to see a more robust local economy. The problem is that we are a consumer nation and nobody actually wants to work. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go from there. Jesse Noble says, born and raised in St. Louis is one of the first independent cities in the United States, but the culture here sucks. Well, change the culture. You are the culture, Jesse. You are the culture, Jesse. Mike PGH says, big bro, I'm in Pittsburgh. I know, I see the PGH. I vaguely hear you talk about my city. What are some good investment opportunities? I love Pittsburgh. I always talk about how Pittsburgh is one of my favorite places to visit and that y'all got that little one casino in y'all city look like it's carved out of a mountain. What are some good investment opportunities? What do you mean by good investment opportunities? I think that the best investment opportunity is to invest in yourself. And then in your community, and then make sure you buy and you own the things that you rent out to other people, and then make sure that you continue to pour into your business, building your business, while at the same time leveraging the money that you're stacking and putting that inside of the markets because you always want your money to be working for you. The business opportunity is you. Manuel AG says, I hate this smug looking ish. Hey, Anton just turned 30 in Florida in the HVAC field looking to relocate to Dallas for a new start. What are your thoughts? How successful are you in Florida? And what part of Florida? 30 in Florida, HVAC field, looking to relocate to Dallas. I'm guessing that you didn't start your own business. I mean, I think that you could be successful wherever it is that you go. I think it's just about work ethic. I don't think it matters where you go. If you're moving from Dallas to Florida, Florida to Dallas, I don't think that matters. I think it matters with the service that you provide. People want good service, they want consistency, and they want to be able to call you multiple different times. It cost me $15 a month for the knowledge. 80 shares. My life is better for it. Shout out to all of the people that send a Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. All right. I want to go over student loans really quickly, and then we're going to get into Stephen A. Smith. 5.3 million people are allegedly in student loan default. Let me play this quick clip, and then we're going to get straight into the conversation, and we're going to move over to Stephen A. Smith. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. 5.3 million people are being reported to be in student loan default.
Fox 5 is watching your wallet tonight, and if your student loans are in default, they could be about to go into collection, and you could even have your wages garnished. Fox 8's Kendall Green is here with how this could affect millions of borrowers currently in default. Kendall.
Hey, good evening, Natasha. Out of the more than 262 million adults in the U.S., about 42 million have student debt, and these sweeping changes in just a matter of weeks could affect more than 60% of those borrowers either behind or in default on their payments. After a 5-year-long pause on student debt collections, the Trump administration is forcing borrowers to pay up, beginning as early as next month.
No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020. That comes to an end.
Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Leavitt announced on May 5th the Department of Education will begin involuntary collections from borrowers with federal student loans in default. The feds report the country's student loan debt has reached nearly $1.6 trillion among nearly 43 million borrowers, with fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers current in repayment.
So a lot of y'all may be unfamiliar with student loans. I hear a lot of people complaining about it on social media. I've seen some disrespectful numbers. Somebody said, last I checked, Texas land was cheap. No, Texas land is not cheap. Texas land is cheaper than what you see over in California. But Texas land also can kick your butt when it comes to property taxes. So be careful. It's not just the price of the land. Y'all got to also take into consideration property taxes. Go online and type in how much you're going to be paying for property taxes every single year. That is going to be the biggest thing. It's the property taxes. It's the property taxes. I've seen some disrespectful numbers of people that are basically dreading the idea that they have to start to repay their student loans. I seen one lady said that she had student loans that totaled over 280,000, 266,000. I did a review video on it yesterday. She said her husband was at like 580. I didn't know if she had made a mistake and said 580 or something like that. But how do y'all get to such huge student loan numbers? What the hell is y'all doing? How do y'all get to $100,000+ in student loans? Y'all don't work? What, y'all just living off of the money? You know that student loans is an investment into your future, right? And if you don't have the ability to pay it back, then that means that it was a bad investment. $1.6 trillion in total debt. You know what the United States of America could do with that good old money? 4 out of 10 borrowers, or 2 out of 5, are in repayment. Nearly 1 in 4 are delinquent. That means they are going to start coming for your Social Security. They are going to start coming for your monies. What is one way that you can defer this? Well, one way that I don't necessarily agree with is that there are people that are basically re-enrolling in school to then be able to push back their repayments of their loans. Other people are refinancing and then taking it out for another 10 years. I seen a woman say that she's made so far 166 payments on her student loans that she hasn't even made a dent in it. I will tell you this. There are also, and this is the part that a lot of people don't want to include in this conversation, when the economy went bust in 2008, when the Obama administration came into office in 2008, they pushed for people to go back to school, and they expanded their programs when it came to pushing you and making it easier for you to be able to take out loans. Private loans, regular student loans, regular government loans. They made it incredibly easy for you to get your hands on money. Why? Because even though they knew that you was going to have to repay it down the road, it helped people to survive in their living circumstances. People that were taking out loans in 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those are the ones that are struggling to repay their student loans back the most. They took those loans out as a lifeline. They lived off of them. And then a lot of people never even finished school. And so now you see why a lot of people, see, there's people in the chat. Brandy said it's the biggest mistake of her life. During Obama's administration, they were pushing everybody to repivot when it came to their career. A lot of people went back to school and a lot of people took out student loans as a result of it. That's just the truth. That's the honest to God truth. A lot of the things that you see happening in society today, you can trace it back to the political administration that was in office at that time. A lot of people are now choosing to go back to school and they taking out these trash degrees and they're not learning from the things that they did in their past and they got to suffer as a result of it. It's a lot of people taking out student loans, fam.
3 million borrowers, with fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers current in repayment.
Millions will feel this.
The pandemic era pause, triggered by Trump and extended multiple times under the Biden administration, reached its final grace period in October last year. Since then, the volume of borrowers in default skyrocketed to more than 5.3 million. As data shows, 4 million borrowers are between 3 and 6 months behind on payments. Now, all in that category are subject to have government payments held back, including tax refunds and federal salaries.
Going into default, it takes 270 days, right? You're delinquent if you're 1 day late. It takes 90 days for them to report to credit agencies, but the immediate impact of wage garnishment or taking away your tax refund or however much you get from Social Security, some people live on that.
Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others.
Yep.
After a 30-day notice, the government plans to garnish wages for borrowers in default.
When they were forgiving a lot of these people's student loans, that wasn't just disappearing, that was paid from the taxpayers. That was money from you, money from you, money from you. Now, I know some people that did get their student loans forgiven. Really, it got paid by federal taxpayers. And they are incredibly thankful as a result of it. But for the overwhelming majority of people, listen, if you was able to finesse the government into paying your student loans, congratulations, you won. You won if you finessed the government or you finessed the government on behalf of taxpayers to forgive your student loans. But for the majority of y'all, you should have already had a plan to pay it in the first place.
The ballooning debt and unfair liability to taxpayers. The best advice from Andrew Pentis, a certified student debt counselor at Bankrate, is for borrowers to consider rehabbing their loans by making 9 on-time payments within a 10-month period.
If that's not doable for you, as it won't be for many federal student loan borrowers, the more realistic option is to consolidate your federal student loans with your federal student loan servicer. And then ideally, to get that lower monthly payment, apply for an income-driven repayment plan.
Don't do that. Let me tell y'all something. They're going to give y'all bad advice. Oh, I hate to do this. I hate to have this uncomfortable conversation with y'all. They are going to tell you to jump on an income-based repayment plan. You'll never get out of it. You'll just be paying the interest for the rest of your life. Because what they're trying to tell you guys to do is to lower the amount that you have to have in your payment so that you can then be able to live the lifestyle that you need to live. But you are going to continue to accrue interest and you're not going to pay down the principal. When you are on an income-based repayment plan for your student loans, you do not come from under that loan. That's why you wind up paying that loan for the next 25, 30 years until you die. You wind up paying that student loan for the next 25 to 30 years until you die. It's like imagine being on child support for the rest of your life. Not just for the 18 years, you on child support for the rest of your life. Imagine paying alimony for the rest of your life. Except for the person that's on the receiving end of your money is the bank, it's the federal government. If your payments are $500 a month, right? And they put you on an income-based repayment plan, and that's basically they're going to allow for you to pay whatever you can pay according to your income. But you have a $40,000 student loan. In 5 years, if you never get a raise or you never start to pay off that loan, then you will effectively have a higher balance in 5 years than when you was paying it. The only thing that they're saying is that we're not going to put you in delinquency. We're not going to mess up your credit rating. This is why credit ratings are dangerous, because credit ratings only measure your ability to pay things back on time and faster. It doesn't actually say that you're going to be wealthy as a result of it. I remember it was this thing that was going around a while ago, and the question was, would you rather have $1 million or something in good credit? And it was the dumbest thing that I've ever seen. It was actually happening during the pandemic, and people were saying, sure, I'd rather have a good credit because I can pull out this many millions of dollars and then I'll go and flip that around. Okay, well, if that's the case, how come y'all not rich already? People were saying that I would rather forego the money in order to have the great credit. That tells you the psychological playbook that they basically made against you guys. Do y'all remember that? Y'all don't remember that? Let me see if I can find that. I'm gonna see if I can find it for y'all real quick. Rather, great credit or I don't know if I can find that.
Credit.
I don't know if it's available. I'm gonna just pick the first thing that I see.
Is paramount. If it came down to me having, a couple of dollars and some good credit, I'm going to pick the good credit because the credit can help me to get even further. But if it came down to me having $1 million in bad credit, I'm going to take the $1 million because I know how to make to turn that credit around to have good credit. But here's the thing about credit. People always think it's a lot more difficult than it is. And so what happens is when we see this thing that we're just not familiar with, we become in overwhelm and it becomes this monstrosity and we're just like, then we just shut down and we don't want to do it. And so now it's the boogeyman, it's the big bad wolf, that thing that you just want to put away that you just don't even want to deal with. And that's what credit becomes for a lot of people. I know people who filed bankruptcy in the 90s, they like, my credit's bad. That was my parents. My parents, up until I became an adult, they thought that they had bad credit because they filed bankruptcy in the 80s. And no, that shit fell off 15 years ago.
But here's the question. Did you change the way that you do things? Because credit is not a bad thing. I don't want people to get it misconstrued. Credit is not a bad thing, but your ability to manage your finances effectively is more fruitful. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In a moment of transparent, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and then we're gonna go over to Stephen A. Smith and his thoughts on Shannon Sharp. I thought about it. I genuinely thought about how much more successful or how much more could I expand my real estate empire if I wasn't doing it 100% cash and I went over and I started doing credit, right? And you could scale up really, really fast if you were to leverage credit and then leverage financing in order to do it. But do I even want to do that, and will it be as profitable? You see what I'm saying? Because I would still be let me weigh the pros and the cons, and these are the ways that I think, right? Because it's like, yeah, I can get into, I was talking to somebody, and I'm actually flying down to Atlanta today. So after I get off of the Millionaire Morning Show, I'm flying down to Atlanta today, right? And one of the things that me and this person was talking about, I can't tell you everything we was talking about because he told me not to tell people, but it was something that was a long-term play. And it's a big business play that we both had kind of just so happened to both have the same mindset with it, and we were both talking about it, right? And I was thinking to myself, I could have built it a long time ago, this huge thing, and I've never told anybody about it, but I could have built it a long time ago. Maybe if I had financed the deal instead of continuing to save and a stack and make the play so that I'll then be able to just basically do it cash. But then at the same time, I'm at a greater risk because if the play isn't as profitable as I need it to be, basically what you're doing is you're taking a risk and having to carry that yourself if your financing doesn't meet expectations. So I'll break it down from a C student's perspective for you guys. I have guaranteed profitability in my residential real estate portfolio because I don't have the same costs associated with it. When we go in a stock club, and it's one of the reasons why you guys have to get in a stock club, get into the Patreon, and I show you the receipts, is because the reason why I am a better steward and I can treat people better is because I don't have the same pressure for profitability as everybody else. So I don't have to raise rents market rate like everybody else because I don't have a mortgage. So because my costs are lower, because I don't have to worry about a property management company, because I build where I stay and I understand the market, I understand the industry, and I don't have that additional associated cost, I could still make a healthy profit and pass some of the cost over to consumers. That way I have loyalty and I don't have as much turnover, which I then don't have to have any vacancies to where I'm carrying that cost and it doesn't impact me. I'm not impacted. I don't care about what the economy does. I don't care about what this does. I don't care about what that is. I don't care about how flippers don't get rich because flippers don't have no money. Flippers, which is one of the things that they used to teach you with the Caesar dude and going to these conferences, they don't get rich because they are leveraging other people's money, which they tell you to do. People are telling you to do that because the finance companies are the ones that make all of the money. So they basically are going to the shark, right? They're going to get these shark loans, which is another way of basically getting in with the mob because they got these high interest loans. The high interest loans then allow for you to have the cash to build. Now you got to meet the expectation. Now you got to go over and you got to, and I'm not going to deep dive too far into this because this is going to feed into something that I'm talking about on the Patreon with Block Club that's coming up. But now they have to meet these deadlines. They can't miss. They got to meet these deadlines because every single month they got to make that interest payment. Every single month they got to meet this deadline. They got to get this inspector. They got to get these contractors to get things right. And if they don't, they have a thin margin of profit. And so flippers usually are operating on a deadline. They got these high ass interest loans that they got to hurry up and pay back, which means that they got to hurry up and sell the property at a certain amount and make sure that it doesn't languish on the market because the minute that they go into the red, their whole business is going to implode and they go out of business. It only takes one or two bad deals or one or two over the timeline or one or two over the situation for you to implode and for you to go broke because you're not going to be able to meet the expectation to play that loan back. Whereas now that I'm moving with cash, because most of the time flippers don't want to be flippers, they want to get into long-term real estate. Because I'm moving 100% cash, I don't have to worry about timelines. I don't have to worry about, whether or not this contractor is doing what he's supposed to do. I don't have to worry about if an inspection goes over. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Why? Because I don't owe anybody any money. I don't have any carrying costs. Do you see what I'm saying? When you have a mortgage on a property, you have to cover the mortgage, the HOAs, the property taxes, the utilities, the maintenance, and the fees. I don't have to worry about that. You get your rent payment from the people. It goes straight into the books, and you just continue to collect it, and you're using that money to continue to build other things. So my point is that it's a pro and a con. For me, I know a lot of my buddies, they are really, really successful. They leverage interest or they leverage their other properties as collateral to continue to build up their portfolio. I tend to want to do things clean because I don't want to give any money to the bank. So I'll just long term, I'm going to outpace them long term because I'm going to compound over a period of time and I'm not going to have the same payments as them. They're going to have properties and they're going to say, well, I got 50 doors and they got mortgages on all of them, hoping to cash flow at $200 to $300 per property. I may have 17, 18, 19, but I'm going to cash flow $43,000 a month clean with no owing, no obligation on any of them except for to pay the property taxes on them at the end of the year. I'm going to cash flow 40 to 50 a month. They're going to own more property. I'm going to be more profitable. So I'd rather wait is what I'm saying. I'd rather be patient. I'd rather just build it out the mud. That way you get 100% ownership and you don't have to pay the bank anything. And this goes back to what I'm telling you guys about student loans. The faster that you pay it off, because so many people are more worried about the payment and the lifestyle than they are about whether or not they're giving the interest over to the bank. The more money you give to them long term is less money that you have to invest in yourself. That's why I tell people to stay down 10 years. Stay with your parents. Don't be so quick to move out the house. You'll be able to live the life that you want to live for the rest of your life if you make the short-term sacrifice, is what I'm saying. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's always better to play the long game. It's always going to be better to play the long game. Every time you play the short game, you're going to be 1 to 2 situations away from losing everything. It's always. It don't seem like it at first. It seems like everybody is beating you. It's going to seem like everybody is outpacing you. Oh, man, look at what they bought. Look at that car that they driving on Instagram. Man, they came up really fast. The fastest that they got it is the fast. I know people that are up to debt in their eyeballs. They can't breathe, but they got a chain. They got some diamonds. They got a couple chicks that they fooling with the bottles at the club. They living paycheck to paycheck, play to play. They robbing Peter to pay Paul. As soon as they get some money from here, they're using it over there. It seems like people are beating you. They're not. They not. They clawing it up. They hate the fact that they're getting taxes taken out of their paycheck because they ain't got enough money to survive. As people that make man, listen, you wouldn't believe the amount of people because of their student loan debt, because of their credit card debt, because of the way that they live in their lifestyle, the amount of people that are paycheck to paycheck that make $100, $120, $130, $140, $150, $200,000 a year. It's a lot. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of people. A lot of them. The tortoise, listen, the word of God, it gave you the blueprint for success financially. The race is not given to the swift. It's given to he who endureth to the end. Listen, my YouTube career should be the blueprint for what you're talking about with your life. There's a lot of people that ran out there and they ran up a whole bunch of people. They went viral. They can't sustain a success. They went broke. I'd rather build it 1 brick at a time, 1 property at a time, 1 piece of portfolio at a time, 1 stock at a time. That's why I tell y'all the dollar cost average. 1 at a time. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. Your consistency, your ability to be able to maintain it. Pay off your motherfucking student loans. I'm telling you right now, pay off your loans. Get rid of the credit card debt and stop using it. Pay off your student loans, pay off your Klarna, and stop giving money to the banks. You know why banks are so profitable? Because they have to lend the money. You know why they want to lend the money? Because you know why they had a credit system? Because they want to rate your ability to be able to pay them their money back with interest. They're not giving you nothing for free. It's with interest. It's all with interest. When you go and you take out your student loans, some of y'all are going to have children. Some of y'all are going to have children. And you're going to tell them, you're going to live vicariously through them, and you're going to live your dreams through them, and they're going to be the first ones to go to college. You know what they're going to do? Take out student loans. You know what they're going to vote? the same way that you did because you were saddled with student loans and you was hoping for somebody to save you. Save yourself. You can save yourself. Stay home. Practice group economics. Have a roommate. Go and move back in with your parents. Go and reconcile that relationship. Y'all do it with men every day. I'm going to put this Stephen A. Smith conversation to tomorrow. You're doing it with men every day. You sleep with men that you don't like, and you talk to people that you normally wouldn't in order for you to have a place to live, in order for you to get your bills paid. You telling me that you can't reconcile with your parents? At least you know them. You bust it down for a real one, and you call these men generous. Now they got a new word for it. They don't call it prostitution. They call it being generous. I want to talk to a man that's generous. Women are saying that they don't want a rich man. They want a man that's generous, because a man that will take care of you or a man that will pour into you is much different than a man that got it that won't spend on you. They don't want a rich man no more. They are listen, women are smart. They adjust. They adapt and they adjust. They adapt and they adjust. They look at the situation and they say, you know what? She with him, but they don't really do nothing. His net worth is nice, but what value is it to me if he's not spending it on me? They adapt and they adjust. They're not looking for rich men anymore. Now, if you're rich and you're generous, that's a double whammy. They're looking for men that are generous. They busting it down for they willing to do what they got to do to survive. Why can't you reconcile your relationship? Suffer. Okay, so this girl, she talking too much or whatever. That's your roommate. You're not doing it because you want to be friends with her. You're living with this person and you're practicing group economics so that you can get ahead financially. Find you some better people for you to connect with so y'all can save some money and run up a bag and make it fun. I remember back in the 2000s, they used to have this thing where everybody, content creators or poker players or whatever, they would all live in the same house. They would strategize with each other. They would leverage each other's information, and they would run up a bag and they would save money and they would do what they got to do. They would network effectively. If you got a wife, if you got a husband, if you got people that you live with already, get your lives together. You're stronger together than you are apart if you're doing the right thing with each other. If you can't practice, if they're not beneficial to you, because whoever it is that you're living with, y'all should be able to practice some form of group economics. Stop putting your kids out fast and trying to get them to get out the house so you can go and live your life. Practice group economics. Group economics is one of the fastest ways for you to get wealthy. If you're able to listen, well, now you got a challenge. You wanted to get out there because, man, ain't no girl gonna want to come home with me because I still live with my mama. Well, that means that you got to go and find a girl that's willing to go home with you while you still living with your mama. That's the one that you're supposed to marry because that's the one that's gonna hold you down. You too busy trying to impress these hoes. Get the one that's gonna go home with you while you living with your mama. That's your wife. That's the one that's going to deserve all of the benefits. That's the one that's going to hold you down. She going to do your books. She going to make sure you good. She going to make sure she holds you down. She see the potential in you. Stop trying to get with the bad bitch and get with the one that's going to go with you and sleep with you while you with your mama. Because she see the vision. Hey, nah, I'm not ready to move out yet. But you graduated college. You got a good job. Why you not moving out? Why you not going to get a good car? Why you not going out here and spending on me? Because you know what? I got a vision and I'm trying to build this business and I want to put my money in my stock portfolio. I got to get these student loans paid out for. If she can't see the vision, then she can't see you as a husband. If she can't see the vision for who you are and she can't rock with you so that you can actually be at your greatest, if all she looking to do is take everything from you and then leave you and monkey branch over to another man, then that's not your wife. If she can't rock with you when you're trying to figure it out, then you don't want to be with her. I'm trying to tell you, you think that it's for everybody. You think that you got to be with everybody. You don't. You have to be with your person that will hold you down and will not take everything from you, but is looking to be the beneficiary of your greatness. They don't want to talk to me. You so busy trying to pay for pussy. Oh, it ain't Friday yet? We gonna say that for Friday? All right. I got a plane to catch. So busy trying to impress people that don't even care nothing about you. You want to pay for box so bad. The one that you supposed to marry ain't even requiring you pay nothing. She happy with just going to get a movie. All she want to do is hang out with you. Everything else is extra. That's the person that you want to pour into. That's the person that you want to invest with. That's the person that you're supposed to hold down. That's the person that's supposed to be your wife. You probably already know her and you ain't even fucking with her. You know why? Because she ain't like all of the rest of the girls and you too busy trying to be like the rest of the culture. Sergio said, all men pay. No, you pay. No, you pay. Not all men pay. Some men invest. Not all men pay. Some men invest because the value that the person that you're supposed to be with is supposed to be a net positive, not a net negative. You trade in your time for money and then spend it on hoes that don't add no value into your life. Nigga, you might as well have just jacked off. You might as well have just beat your carry. All men don't pay. Some men have a net positive of the people that's surrounding them. If your circle and the people don't add more value to you than what it is that you're spending, some people invest, other men pay. They don't tell you that. Some men get more out of their situation and it's beneficial for both of them. And so as a result, we're going to win together. Other men pay. Men that are short-sighted, that ain't got no game, that don't understand how to put a vision into a woman to go out there and get resources, those men pay. All right, we back. No, I'm back. I'm cooking. Anyways, I gotta catch a flight. Hopefully my connection is back. But I do gotta catch a flight. Some men pay. God bless you. God bless you for the men that pay. For the other men that got women around them that bring resources to the table, and I'm not talking about what they do for their job, I'm talking about what value do they add. When we have this conversation about what you add to the table, what you bring to the table, I want to hear something different. I don't want to hear the same stuff that we've been hearing for all this time. Some men pay, other men get a return on their investment. It's a difference. We're not all the same. We're not all on the same level. We're not all the same. We're not all on the same level. I don't expect for everybody to get it. Sometimes we speak to the low-hanging fruit, and so it's easy for people to say, no, all men pay. No, you just trying to reason with yourself for how much money you spending on box that you don't necessarily need around women that ain't add no value into your life. If you got to pay, I'm with it. It's always a John somewhere. If you the John, then cool. You the John, she the prostitute, God bless y'all. Everybody don't have that same worldview. God bless y'all. I got a flight to catch. Let me read some of these super chats. God bless y'all. For everybody that pay, I got women that run whole companies. I got women that bring whole profit statements. I got women that bring me the bag and say, hey, what do you want to do with this? How should we? And then I say, you know what? Let's go have some fun. And they say, no. Let's not do that. What if we doubled it up and we invested it in this? I could do that for you. Let me add that value to your life. I can call women right now that all they ask is, what value can I add? Can you give me another role? Can you give me another role? I think that I would be more productive in this position right here. If your girl ain't saying that to you, then go ahead and pay, big dog. You around the wrong type of people. Anyways, let me read some of these super chats and I'm gonna get y'all up out of here for the day. Xavier Williams says, I don't know if you remember, but I asked you 2 weeks ago, should I pay off my $47,000 in defaulted student loans because I came into a lump sum? You said, go ahead and pay that off. It hurt, but I just settled yesterday for $42,000. Get that bag. You never have to worry about it again. Now the question is, what you gonna do with the resources that you bringing in now that you don't have that hanging over your head? Pookie's friend Ray and people about to start getting garnished. I knew people living off student loans in college and refused to work. I used over half of mine to pay rent and party, so I paid it all back in 2020. Shout out to you. Rush King says, 80, I saw some women on TikTok telling women to quit their jobs so they can't garnish their wages. That's how bad they don't want to pay. So dusty. So dusty. Wade Talks, shout out to Wade Talks in the building, says, my friend told me how he paid off his student loan serving in the Navy. He basically lowered his lifestyle and put his money towards the 30 G's. He's smart. Pierre says it was an 820 credit versus $1 million cash. Give me the $1 million cash all day, bro. Keith Murphy says doctors have high debt like that, but they in school 7 to 10 years. Steady movement. Listen, if you asking me, do I want to, let me tell you how dumb the conversation is. If somebody asking me, do I want an 820 credit score or $1 million? Dog, don't you know that anything over 740 is the same as 820? No, you're not getting any different of a rate past 7. If you can get up to 740, 750, it don't even matter at that point. You could say, do you want a 9,000 credit score? It doesn't matter. Once you get past 740, it doesn't even matter anyway. It's okay, so they want to put 820 on it. Cool. God bless you. It doesn't even matter. Once you get past a certain level, it doesn't matter. It's going to play the same anyway. That tells you the mindset of people. They would rather take credit. They would rather take financing than somebody giving them $1 million cash. You know how insane that sounds? Do you know how stupid that sounds? Man, these people are stupid. So stupid. You know, I'd rather take an 820 credit score. Security, can you get this person out of here, please? Messing up my bag, messing up my money. Off topic, I live and invest in Detroit. What do you think about the Detroit mayor candidates just announced? Duggan did a good job. Who did he endorse? I was going to wait till Block Club to ask you. I'm going to be honest with you. As of right now, I don't like any of them. Pastors. Of course, we know that Mary Sheffield is the front runner, right? Is it Mary Sheffield? Let me see something. Detroit. It is. Yeah, Mary Sheffield is supposed to be the front runner. If they don't contact me sooner rather than later, then I might run for mayor myself. I don't like any of them, to be honest with you right now. I don't look at any of them as a business, from a business perspective. None of them is impressive to me right now at all. So I'm not impressed. Not right now. They got to tell me something. Crypto says search Will Roundtree for credit capital stacking. Keith Murphy says Obama didn't become president until 2009. He was elected in 2008. What difference will it make? It's the same thing. Everybody went to school back to school at the same time. Abundance Mindset says my guy got paid every week, so I had student loans. So I got $100 a week, and I was done in a year. We got $1 cost. I like that. Lieutenant Hulk says, Yo, AD Bumpy Johnson is going through this exact topic with real estate in the new season of Godfather in Harlem, and he want to do it without the mob. Do it without the mob, y'all. Keith Murphy, the unbeaten, says blame Joe Biden. As a senator, he was involved in making student loans not able to file in bankruptcy. Prior generations filed bankruptcy. No, you should not be able to discharge your student loans with bankruptcy. That's probably one good thing that Joe Biden did. If Joe Biden prevented y'all from being able to discharge your student loans in bankruptcy, he did a phenomenal job. Let me give Joe Biden some credit on that. Shout out to Joe Biden. I'm going to give you credit on that one, Joe. Sleepy Joe finally did something right. Hey, AD. Hope everything is going good. I've been in a seawall since I was a kid. I'm recovering from December 16th foot injury. Thoughts on STEM degrees? AI, machine learning, cybersecurity. I love STEM degrees. I love STEM degrees. STEM degrees are everything. Mr. Tyson says Greg Adams said all men pay, but he was talking to the LCD in society. Shout out to Greg Adams. I think that Greg Adams got great content. I didn't know who it came from. I just think that there's more context to be added into that. Keith Murphy, the unbeaten, says anti-public servants should do income-based. You make on-time payments for 10 years. The rest will be forgiven. Public servants look up to PS. I know about it. I know some people that got it. I don't mean that I agree with it. I think that you should still have to pay away your full student loans. I'm giving a happy birthday shout out to myself and my son. I'm 45, he's 16. Shout out the long way, ENT. Happy birthday to you and your son. Senator Brown says, Anton, have you seen the new TikTok challenge where black men are asking the BD, the baby daddy, for $50 to see what he's going to say? I'm guessing y'all saying baby daddies. No, I haven't seen that one. That one is new to me. Send me a couple of them so I can react to it. All right, y'all. Anton, don't be a Stephen A. Smith. I don't even know what that means, Nightjade. I don't even know what that means. Anyways, I got a flight to catch. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Same time tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing it from a different city, though. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.